Hey there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitars Already Here song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play You Give Love a Bad Name by Bon Jovi, which is an awesome rock tune. In this lesson, I'll be using a HSS Strat from Fender's Standard Series, which is their most affordable range, great value, but sounds great as you'll hear in this lesson. If you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarsreadyhero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you're fairly new to guitar and you're looking to build a strong and solid foundation, but you don't know where to start, then be sure to check out the Guitars Already Hero Premium course and a membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let's jump into the lesson. So I'm going to start off by showing you the rhythm guitar parts, and then in the second half of this video, I'll teach you all the lead guitar parts, including the solo. In terms of guitar tone, I'm using my bridge pickup, and I'm using a high gain amp with the gain turned up, so you get quite a bit of distortion. Alternatively, you could use a clean amp and have a distortion pedal in front of it. So for the first line of tab on the very end, in this fourth bar on the end beat, we're just going to do 2 quick muted strums, and then hit anywhere up here on the heavier strings and slide out. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we'll jump into the power chords of the intro. So we're going to start with a C power chord here. So index finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string and ring finger, or you could use your pinky finger as well, but I'm going to use my ring finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. So we're just focusing on these 2 strings, the 5th and 4th string. Now we want all the other strings to be muted, and that way you'll get that really clean and defined power chord. So first off, we have to mute the 6th string. You can do that with your free middle finger if you want, lightly touching that 6th string. Alternatively, you can use your index finger lightly touching the 6th string as you're fretting the 5th string, and that way it will be muted. And for all the other strings, the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, you can have your index finger lightly resting on top of them, making contact with them but not actually fretting down. You don't need to apply pressure, only on the root note here, on that C. And then you put your ring finger down, and that way you can strum all the strings and just get that thick power chord. On the end beat after the 2, we go to an A flat. So for the A flat, we shift our index in our ring finger to the 6th and 5th strings, and then we move it up 1 fret. So that's on the end beat after the 2. On the 4 beat, we'll go up to a B flat power chord, that's just up 2 frets, and then to a C power chord, which is another 2 frets up, and that's on the end beat after the 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for the second bar, we go back down to our B flat with 2 strums on the 1 and the 2 beat, 1 and 2, and then back to the C on the 3 beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. For the third bar, we go back to the A flat, and on the end beat after the 2, we go back to the B flat. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. For the fourth bar, we shift our power chord position to the 5th and 4th strings. So this is an E flat power chord, and on the end beat after the 2, back to our starting position at the C5 power chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this second line of tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The third line of tab is identical to the second line of tab, except we don't have anything playing in that 4th bar. So in the 3rd bar, we go A flat to B flat, and we just hold it out. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the 4th line of tab, we have a really cool riff here. We're going to go 3rd fret of the 5th string. We're going to hit that. I play this with my ring finger, and then I go to the 3rd fret of the 6th string with my middle. So, and then with my index finger, 1st fret of the 5th string, and then back up to the 3rd fret. So the first half of this bar, and then for the second half of this bar, we go up to the 1st fret of the 4th string. We play that twice, back to our C note on the 5th string, and then end on the 1st fret. So the second half, and the first bar. Now the other thing we need to include here is palm muting to give it that chunky sort of sound. To palm mute, take the fleshy bit of your palm and rest it lightly on the edge of the bridge as you pluck those notes. Now if your palm is too far in, those notes aren't going to ring out at all. So it needs to be right on the edge of the bridge, and you'll get that palm muted sound. So together with the palm mute. Now, this second bar is almost the same as the first bar, except we end on the 4 beat with that 3rd fret of the 5th string. We don't go down to that 1st fret. And as you hit it, you release the palm muting and you can add some vibrato there. So just shake it down and up to really emphasize the sound there. And the second bar. The 3rd bar is identical to the 1st bar. Then for the 4th bar, we're going to take our index finger up to the 8th frets of the 4th and the 3rd string. So just bar across those 2 notes. We're going to hit them, and then we're going to use our whammy bar here. So we're going to effectively hit our whammy bar down 3 times, and then after we've hit it down 3 times, then sort of slowly bend it down for one last time. So be sure to just listen to the song to try to get that timing right. But one more time. Now, if you don't have a whammy bar, you can just still play those notes, but just strum it 4 times. So, with a similar rhythm to what the whammy bar is doing. But altogether, the 4th line of tab. That's it for the intro, which sounds like this. I'm just going to start here on the 4th bar of the 1st line of tab. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you find that playing with the whammy bar, your guitar goes wildly out of tune each time you're using it, then I would highly suggest getting a guitar lubricant and using it on the nut, the string tree, and on the bridge. Any place where a string is making contact with the guitar, whether it's the bridge or the nut, you add this little bit of lubricant, and then when you use your whammy bar, it will stay in tune. It's amazing how much of a difference it will actually make. There's 2 products I would recommend. There's one from Music Nomad and there's also one from Diodario. I'll leave a link to them in the description below. But they're really great if you want to keep your guitar in tune whilst using the whammy bar for this song in particular. Next we get to verse number 1 and we've basically already learnt it. It's just the first 2 bars of the 4th line of tab in the intro. That's just repeated through 4 times and that's it for the verse. I'll play it through just twice now. Okay, so next we get to the pre-chorus. We're going to start with an F power chord here at the 1st and 3rd frets. I'm going to use my pinky finger here as well on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So we hit this, we're going to hold it out for a full bar and then hold it out again for a 2nd bar. But in that 2nd bar, that's when we can start using the whammy bar to just take that pitch down really low. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for the 3rd bar, we're going to go back up to this 8th fret position we had in the intro, but we're going to start off with a quick down up strum, which is muted. So, and that's on the end beat. So 1 and on the 2 beat, that's where we hit that double stop. So 1 and 2, and we just repeat that again. So this 3rd bar. 1. We hold that into the 4th bar, and again, we're going to use our whammy bar and just push it down more or less 4 times. So the 3rd and the 4th bar are music. For the 2nd line tab, we're going to play a B flat chord. So I'm going to play this with my ring finger actually barring across the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings of the 3rd fret, and then index finger just hitting the 1st fret of the 5th string. If you can't bar your ring finger across those strings like that, you can just use your middle ring and pinky fingers on the 3rd frets. It's completely up to you. But we're going to focus on the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings with this 1st strum. That's going to be held out for 1 full bar, and in the 2nd bar, we're going to palm mute the bass note, and then the rest of them can be slightly palm muted or not, completely up to you. So it'll sound like this. And at the end, with that final note, you can kind of use your whammy bar to give it some vibrato if you want. Then we go to an F chord. Now it's an F bar chord, but we only really need to focus on the heavier 4 strings. You don't need to fully bar your index finger. It's completely up to you. We're gonna pluck the 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd, like that. All at 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3. And on that final note, again, we can use the whammy bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. On the end beat after the 4, we shift to a G chord. So it's the same shape, just up 2 frets. And we're going to start by hitting the root note, and that's on the end beat after 4. So the 3rd bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And for the 4th bar, we hit the 4th string, 5th, 4th, and 3rd. So from the end beat after the 4, 1 and 2 and 3, and then you can use a whammy bar as you please. So the second line of tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That's it for the pre-chorus, which sounds like this. Next we get to the chorus, and we've basically already learnt it. The first line of tab is just the second line of tab in the intro. So it's those power chords, we've already learnt it. That first line of tab is just repeated through twice. And then for the second line of tab, we go to the A flat and then the B flat on the end beat after 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just hold that out until we get to the next break. So this next break is the same as the 4th line of tab in the intro. So we've already learnt it. Here it is again. Then the second verse, pre-chorus and chorus are essentially the same as the first verse, pre-chorus and chorus. And we get to the guitar solo section. So for the rhythm guitar parts, it's going to be played like this. There's 2 lines of tab. It's similar to our chorus power chord riff with some minor variations. So we start off with the C5 and then A5. Hold it where we hit it one more time. And then the second bar is B flat twice and the C. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first 2 bars, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the third and the 4th bar are basically the same as the first and second bar in the chorus. So back essentially to the typical chorus power chord riff. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the second line of tab, we start off the same way as the first line of tab. And then for the 3rd bar, we play the C5, A flat 5, hold that out. Then we go down to a G5 power chord. We're going to palm mute it at 8th notes and then hit it one more time for a final bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can kind of use the whammy bar to bend that out if you want. So that's the rhythm for the solo section, which will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We get to the final chorus, which is just the first line of tab of the other choruses repeated through twice, so nothing new to learn there. Then there's the outro. Now this one line of tab is just sort of repeated until the song fades out, but it's basically just the 3rd and the 4th bar in that final chorus. So the A flat 5 to the B flat 5, and then the E flat 5 to the C 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's everything you need to learn for the rhythm guitar parts. So now I'm going to teach you how to play all the lead guitar parts. In terms of tone, there's an effect on there that's quite unique. You can get this result in a few different ways. With my Boss Katana, I'm using the pitch bend pedal effect, and I've got that pitch shifted up 1 whole octave. So it's playing the original guitar signal, but then layering on top of it that same signal but 1 octave higher. And you get something that sounds like this. Again, there's a few different ways you could do it. Some people use the Electro Harmonics POG pedal for something like that, an octave pedal that can pitch shift an octave higher, the Digitech whammy pedal as well. There's a few different methods. I've just used my Boss Katana for this tone though. Let's start with the lead part that's played in the intro, and there's effectively just 2 lines of tab here. We're going to start up at the 10th fret of the 3rd string. We're going to hit it and bend up a full tone. Now in terms of bending, if you're new to bending and lead guitar playing in general, with a full bend, you want to target the tone that is 2 frets up from the original bend. So 10th fret, our target pitch is 12th fret. So it really helps to use your ring and middle finger to push the string up. If you just use your ring by itself, you're not going to get a lot of strength. So use your middle and ring, and then also use your thumb curling over the top here as an anchor point. And you're basically trying to push your middle and ring finger up to your thumb, like that. After that bend, we hit the 10th fret without the bend, and that's on the end beat after 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. On the end beat after the 4, we go down to 8th fret. And then for the second bar, we start with the full bend, we hit it and release it. So start off with a bend and release. After we release, you're going to pull off to the 8th fret and then end on the 10th fret of the 4th string. So, and then on the 4 beat, we'll hit the 8th fret of the 4th string and back up to the 10th fret. But that will be palm muted as well. And this second bar. The 3rd bar is identical to the 1st bar, so. And then for the 4th bar, we start off with the same bend and release, pull off to 8th, and then end on 10th fret at the 4th string, which sounds like this. And in total. The second line of tab is basically just a repetition of that, so nothing else to learn there for the intro lead guitar part. Now let's get into the main guitar solo of this song, which is short but sweet. There's one little tricky part, but as long as you take it slowly and bit by bit, you should be able to get it with enough practice. To teach you this as clearly as possible, I've turned off my pitch shifting effect. In the playthrough at the end of this lesson, I will have it turned on during the solo, but for clarity, I will have it turned off right now. To start off this solo, we're going to hit a natural harmonic and then do a dive bomb. Now we're going to hit the 5th fret harmonic on the 3rd string. So to do that, just take your index finger, place it lightly above the fret strip dividing the 5th and 6th frets of your guitar. So we're not pushing our index finger down, we're just resting it right above that fret strip and pluck the 3rd string. And you'll get that natural harmonic. There's nothing else you need to do there. You don't have to keep your finger held in that position either. As long as your index finger makes contact with the string whilst you pluck it, you can then remove your index finger and it'll keep ringing out. That happens at the very end of the 2nd chorus on the end beat after the 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we'll use our whammy bar to dive bomb that down. And that will be held out for essentially a bar and a half until we then take our index finger and slide it up to the 8th fret of the 3rd string. So it'll sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now when we slide into the 8th fret of the 3rd string, you can use normal vibrato or you could use your whammy bar to add that vibrato. It's completely up to you. Next, we're then going to play a series of octaves. So the first octave is a C octave. We place our index finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string and pinky finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. Now, when we strum all the strings, we only want those 2 notes to ring out. So to mute everything else, with our index finger, we can lightly touch the 6th string as it's fretting down the 5th string. So just have the tip of your index finger touching the 6th and that will be muted. And with all the strings below the 5th string, you can have your index finger lightly resting across them so that those are muted as well. So you don't bar your index finger, you only apply pressure on the 5th string. And then when you strum all the strings, We get that really nice and concise octave sound with just those two strings ringing out. So we're going to hit this and then slide up 2 frets to the 5th and 7th octave. In terms of timing, all these octaves are at 8th notes. So 1 and. So don't just slide up instantly, hold it out for the 8th note and then slide up 1 and. Then we'll hit this position and slide up 1 fret, 2 and. Hit this position and slide up another 2 frets, 3 and then hit this position and slide up another 2 frets, 4 and this bar in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for this final bar, we're going to hit this position and slide up 3 frets. But this slide is going to be faster. We're not going to be holding it out for an 8th note and then sliding. And that will sound like this. And then in this position, we'll hit it and slide up 2 more frets. And again, it's a fairly fast slide. And then finally on the 3 beat, we'll strum this position one more time. So the final bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's it for the first line of tab, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we get to the trickiest part of the solo, and it's really important that you just take this one bit at a time. And I'm going to break it up into smaller sections that are easy to digest. Once you put them together and then practice them slowly and work your way up to speed, you should be able to get it. So start on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, pluck this, hammer on, pull off, and hammer on again. So you only pluck once, but you've effectively hit 4 notes. So hammer on, pull off, hammer on. And then we're going to do a tap slide with our pick. At this point, what I do is I turn my pick to the side. Now I'm not really changing my pick position at all. I'm just tilting my wrist so that now the side of my pick is going to hammer onto the string and then I'll slide the pick up the neck. We're going to tap on the 13th fret and then just slide it up and all together. Now as you do the tap slide, your ring finger can lift at this point and just have your index finger on the 8th fret and that chunk all in together. And faster. That's the first little section. Now after this pick slide, with your index finger rested, when you release that pick slide, you'll inevitably kind of have a ghost note here on that 8th fret, which is what I've shown below. And that will help you transition to the next section where we'll need to hammer on again to the 11th, pull off, and hammer on again, and then do another pick slide. And that's the second little chunk. And pretend as if we're starting from the 8th fret ghost note. Hammer on, pull off, hammer on, and another tap slide. We're going to repeat that section again. And remember, after the tap slide, you'll effectively have that 8th fret note ringing out into the next section, because when we lift the pick with our index finger still there, it's effectively going to still vibrate, and that way you get that ghost note for the next section. So we play that same chunk again. So 8th fret ghost note, hammer on, pull off, hammer on, tap slide, and the first 3 chunks. So after that final tap slide, remember there's a ghost note 8th fret note there. That's a result from that final pick slide. And then we're going to hammer on, pull off, hammer on, pull off, hammer on, and then one more pull off, which will take us to the next bar of music. So let's take a step back and play those first 4 sections. Now, after that final pull off to the 8th fret, we're then going to take our whammy bar, dive that down, lift it up, and then hammer on, pull off, hammer on, pull off, another dive bomb, and then hammer on. Let's take that back, pull off, dive bomb, hammer on, pull off, hammer on, pull off, dive bomb, hammer on. And then I'm gonna pluck this note one more time with the pick, and then bend up a full tone. And you can add vibrato with your whammy bar or via just a regular bend. So it's a lot to digest, but just take it section by section. And for this second bar, and these 2 bars in total. So that's obviously at a very slow speed, but a little bit faster. And at a faster speed than that. Again, it's a lot to digest, but just take it one little bit at a time, practice it slow, and then work your way up. Then for the final line of tab, we're going to go to the 15th fret of the 3rd string with our ring and have our index finger on the 13th fret of the 2nd string. We're going to hit these 2 strings together, but then bend the 3rd string up. Like that. And then move 2 frets up and do the same thing. So this bar. For the next bar is quite a quick run. We're going to start on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Let's break this up into groups of 4 notes. So we're going to pluck this, and this is all palm muted as well, so use the side of your palm to rest lightly on the edge of the bridge. And I'm going to be doing all down, up picking, so alternate picking. So 3rd fret, 1st fret, then 3rd fret of the 6th string, and then back up to the 1st fret of the 5th. So that's the first 4 notes. And then for the second set of 4 notes, back to 3rd fret of the 5th, 1st fret of the 4th, back to 3rd fret of the 5th, and then down to 1st. So second set of 4 notes. The 3rd set of notes is the same as the 1st set of notes. And for the 4th set of notes, 3rd fret of the 5th string, up to the 1st fret of the 4th, then 3rd fret, hit it and pull off, and that's the 4th section. After that, we then go to the 3rd fret of the 6th string. We're going to hit that and just dive bomb it out. And that's the end of the solo. So these final 2 bars. And that's everything for this solo, which will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the final lead part to learn is the outro, which is basically the same lead part as the intro. So nothing new to learn there. We just keep repeating it until the song fades out. And those are all the guitar parts for this epic rock tune. So now I'll be doing 2 playthroughs of this lesson. The first playthrough will be all the rhythm guitars, and the second playthrough will be basically the same, except for the intro, solo, and outro, I'll be including the lead guitar parts. Feel free to play these back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Shot through the heart, and you're to blame, darling. You give love a bad name.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.